evening to all of our viewers in Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Southwest Missouri. We've got a look at your forecast for this evening and tomorrow. I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. The good news is we're going to have a couple of days where it's going to be a little bit more like summer. We've got mostly dry weather and we've got warm weather on the way in terms of the temperatures. The bad news is we're keeping the humidity, and that means that, well, we're going to have some heat issues going forward. I've been talking about it for a week, that by the time we got to Tuesday through Thursday of this week, that I think that we would be eligible for some heat advisories. And in fact, we actually have some to talk about. In the meantime, here's a look at the overnight. It's going to be a warm one to start tomorrow. Now, the good news is compared to this morning, not going to be as loud or active. We're going to be dry, and we've got some temperatures into the mid, even upper 70s for a large portion of the area. Some lower 70s in portions of northwest Arkansas, River Valley, but overall we are going to be warm tomorrow morning and humid. So rule of thumb, especially tomorrow and some of the days that we've got going forward, if you're a pet owner, walk the dog early in the morning, later in the evening, it's going to be way too hot for their feet in the afternoon. Let me show you why. We're going to be into the upper 80s pretty much area-wide with some lower 90s mixed in. As you can see, Fort Smith, Poteau, right around 93, between 91 to 94, between Tulsa and Stillwater. So it's going to be a warm, and unfortunately, it's going to be a humid afternoon. So for, people who love to be out by the pool and enjoy the heat, I know that many of you like some warmer weather, but I know for, probably the majority of us, when it's that heat that we like, it's mostly the dry heat. It's a little bit more manageable. This is not going to be that. In fact, we actually do have some heat advisories for tomorrow between 1 to 7 o'clock. Now, this is a little bit deceiving. Now, some of the areas, including Ponca City, Bartlesville, Barnsdall, they are included in this. And also, Fort Smith between Sebastian and Crawford County, that's where we have another area there. It's having a little bit of trouble popping up just because it's an alert for tomorrow. But trust me, it does include parts of Fort Smith, Sebastian, Crawford County, and parts of eastern Oklahoma that it's not really filling in. It does not include northwest Arkansas or southwest Missouri, mostly at the time of this update. But I have a feeling that there may be some additions later on, depending on what we get for tomorrow. I also have a feeling that we may have additional heat advisories issued for Wednesday and Thursday. I can't say for certain. That's entirely up to the Weather Service. But looking at the heat that we have going forward, I think that we're going to meet that criteria here over the next several days until a little bit more of an active pattern. That's in effect until 1 to 7 o'clock tomorrow. And then here's a look at the 7-day forecast that we have. Active pattern late Thursday. That's when rain chances return all the way into portions of your Monday. Over the next, 3 or so days, we're going to be mostly rain-free. It's not until late Thursday that we see those rain chances return. But for the afternoon, I think it's going to be, heat advisory eligible, depending on how much cloud coverage and stuff like that, and the timing of this activity. So moving forward into the weekend, we got rain and thunderstorm chances. Now, there may be a couple opportunities for some strong to severe storms. No highlights yet, but we'll keep an eye on that activity. Same with the River Valley. As you can see, it's going to be warm. We're talking right around the mid-90s before we get back into the upper 80s, lower 90s with that active pattern. But for the next several days, take care of yourself. Drink lots of water. Take breaks in the shade and in the AC because it's going to be hot out there over the next several days. Here's a look at what we got in terms of northeast Oklahoma. Maybe waiting the rain chances a little bit later into early Friday. But most of the day, Thursday should be dry. And it's going to be warm the next several days. Same with southwest Missouri, as we're going to be right around the lower 90s the next couple of days. And then we got some active, forecasts here coming up. That's a look at the forecast that we've got here at Weather 225. And, stick around. We've got a lot to talk about over the next several days. We've got more active weather on the way, summer heat, all of that. We'll keep you informed here throughout the week. If you like our media and forecast, be sure to support us today on Patreon. You can advertise with us this storm season and throughout the year. Contact us today for availability and pricing. Weather 225 since 2015.